books himself. This is several more pages to tack on. But I think it's going to change the election. Well, not change it, but I think it's going to affect it. I think Trump is going to win so hard. They keep going on about we're within the margin of error in the national polls. We're ahead in the national polls. It's not a popular vote, though. Like, we know it's the Electoral College. Mm-hmm. And if you bounce around the state polls, you'll see that Trump is within 1 or 2 points of Virginia. Trump is within 1 or 2 points in Minnesota. And everywhere else, he's ahead. Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, I think I saw him losing in some and winning in some. But North Carolina, Georgia, Florida,
if he wins in Minnesota, he wins. Like, I never would have thought.
I don't think he's going to win in Minnesota.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so.
I don't know which polling I should trust the most. Historically, 538 is my favorite. And historically, they do a really good job. I know everyone's going to talk about 2016, but if you look at more than just one election, 538 was outstanding. However, it's been sold to Disney. And 538 has Biden winning right now. And I'm like, what do I do with this shit? That just doesn't vibe right to me. Mm-hmm. I guess he's looking at... Scroll up to the big part. The part you look at. There's... Well, what am I looking at? 538?
Yeah, this is 538. I was going to say, Woody.
Scroll up. I just looked at it seconds ago. He's like, motherfucker, go to the election forecast. I'm not making it up. They have a winning right now.
You might want to check your phone and see if it's taking you to a specific page or a specific. Maybe they change like which voters are being polled, because I look at it. Link. I look at it every single day too, and it's the best he's gotten is 1.9. I've seen Trump ahead by like 2.5.
This is 538's high level prediction. Scroll up so you can. Zach, you're killing me. They have Biden winning 53 times out of 100. And
that's crazy.
I'm like, exactly. Like, I'm not saying Biden's favored. I'm saying I struggle to trust 538.
I think they're over polling somewhere to like make their own numbers, make their algorithm say he wins or something, because
it feels that way. And I'm sorry, I said it already, but Nate Silver doesn't run this anymore. So the good track record that they've established, I don't know how much weight that should carry.
The way I use it is I look at that first page briefly that Zach was where it says Trump's ahead by 2 points. And then I go state by state. And the state I always want to know about is Pennsylvania. I go to Pennsylvania and check it every morning to see if there's a brand new poll that represents either some of Biden's interviews or eventually soon will the assassination attempt. Pennsylvania, Trump's ahead. And like every poll I look at, and has been for days, and so, like 5 or 6 points in some polls.
Right now, 538 has Pennsylvania as Biden winning 54 times out of 100 in PA.
So crazy.
Right. And
what are they basing it on? Like, go to the most recent poll in Pennsylvania, though, of like registered and likely voters. And it's like,
I don't know how they arrived at that, because when I go to their most recent polls, Trump is winning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in a row.
See what I mean? Like
yeah, I do. So
I appreciate your number, and I'm like, oh, how'd they get there? But then I go to this page, and it's like, how did they get there?
right. That's Georgia. Yeah, I don't think the blue team's counting on Georgia this time.
They're hoping for it for sure. But it's weird. It seems like the blue wall that used to exist,
The Rust Belt.
I used to think Ohio was always a thing, and Florida was always a thing, and suddenly those are like gimmies for the red team, it seems.
Yeah, they've gone from battleground states to solid red, it would seem.
Yeah, so I think Trump's going to win in a fucking landslide these days, because this thing has got the red team fucking solidified. They are excited. They are rejuvenated. And the left is like, but he's a registered Republican. Doesn't anyone care? 2025, Project 2025. And then you just hear like the fucking Urukai chanting in unison, 10,000 strong. Fight. Like, I watched that whole boring ass propaganda that the Republican National Convention is. Man, I'm gonna tell you, you gotta be a real fucking red team jerk my dick off watching Trump kind of boomer to enjoy watching the RNC. They wheeled out every minority group and like I watched like an hour or two of it last night because I thought Trump was going to speak. He made an appearance. Like I don't think he was supposed to, but he showed up after he named his vice president, and he and the VP and his son and Tucker Carlson all sat and watched like a couple hours of guests. One of them was like an El Salvadorian immigrant who came in, quote unquote, the right way and worked hard. And she sounded like the maid from Family Guy.
Consuela.
She was Consuela, and her English was all right, but her accent was so strong that you could tell the crack. And she was trying to crack jokes.
What who was the that slut walk chick with the OnlyFans page? What was that about?
I have seen a lot of stills of someone with a face tattoo talking. Is that
that's Amber Rose. So that's Amber Rose. She's she's one of those figures who's like very in the black hip hop community, but Kanye's ex-wife. But what, you know, she's got I think her head says /Bash or something like that. That might be her kids' names or some shit. But she was great.
Her kids' names are Slash and Bash.
Slacisha and Bashir, probably some nonsense. They make it up as they go along over there on the West Coast. That's what I mean. But yeah, she came out and frankly spoke well. She was like, I remember finding out my dad was a Trump supporter and being like, he's a racist. My dad saying, you know what? You go educate yourself about Donald Trump and then come back and tell me when you find the racist stuff. She's like, and I looked and I looked. After a while, I started liking this Trump guy, and I didn't find any racist stuff. And each person it seemed the message, and it's a brilliant message, by the way. The message for day one seemed to be, we didn't used to believe. We used to be like you. We look like you, and we used to think like you, but we caught on. We're tired of having an invalid in the White House and pretending like the guy whose policies we don't care for is a Nazi, a racist, a pedophile, and any other nonsense that can be made up and thrown at him. You know what? It doesn't stick. Then they brought out a union leader. The Teamsters leader came out. Yeah.
So this is a tactic that both sides do. And the idea is that you give permission to people to change their minds. So I see the left do it, and they'll have like a military guy in his fatigues saying like, yeah, everyone used to be Republican, but I looked at the actual policies and I'm Democrat now. And here I'm seeing, it's funny that like slut walk is the counterpoint like that. How do we get Democrats on board? Well, let's find this slut walk chick. Slut walk, by the way, is not me insulting her. That's her Instagram handle. It's her like brand. And Amber Rose slut walk. That's how you find her Instagram page. And
fuck yeah.
and now that's how they give Democrats permission to switch over to the red team. And I'm like, oh, okay, I see it. Like I'm not upset about it. It's more like someone took my bishop. You know, like, all right, yeah. I see it. That's your move.
The race bait open. I know this one. I saw a Trump rally one time where there's you got the microphone guy and he goes over and talks to the black guy who's a counter protester. And he's like, why don't you go over there? He's like, they don't want me over there. And he's like, you sure? Let's go ask him. And they go over there. He's like, he wants to know if he could come and join y'all. Would he be welcome? And all these rednecks are like, come on, brother. Race don't mean shit. This white lady's hugging him, and he's like, I can get used to this. It's like, there's no way this is real.
There's no way
this is real. Is this one of Black Rock videos?
So did they not lean in to the assassination stuff at all?
He didn't speak.
Yeah. So my way of watching the conventions has always been this, much more mild than Kyle's this year. I like to watch the VP because it's kind of that person's introduction to the national stage. If you're a politics junkie, then you know him. But this is going to be his introduction to most of America. And then Trump, whoever the candidate is, Trump or Biden, also doing his big speech. That'll be interesting to see too. So those are the only two I'm ever interested in. But Kyle's going hard this year.
I'm interested in like the strategy, and even with the VP pick, I think it compounds what I was talking about earlier, how the strategy is, we used to think like you. We used to think Trump was this, that, and the other. but go to TrumpTruth.org and you'll find out what we found out, and you'll switch sides too. Because the VP candidate was one of those never Trumpers, calling them every name in the book. And I'm sure that's going to be part of what he says. I used to think like you. I used to be. Now I'm here on the front lines, shoulder to shoulder with him. You know, that's going to be their move. And I really wish Trump would continue to play dirty and be like, Joe Biden and the Democrats said they were going to put me in the bullseye. Well, I've got one thing to say. You come at the king, you best not miss.
You might be inviting trouble.
And then steam and the smoke starts rolling into the room, and 50 Cent gets ejected from the floor out of one of those pods like Psy from Gangnam Style, and he starts singing Mini Men. By the way, 50 Cent apparently is a Trumper now, and he will be performing at the RNC. And God willing, he'll play Many Men Wish Death on Me, because that is going to be hilarious.
I want to go to the convention, and when the balloons drop, bring a pin and just pop, 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 see if Trump ducks for cover.
Man, I need to be on that Trump, like whisper in his ear and tell him what to do, team, because...
dude, like, you would be...
do you remember that time when the balloon popped and Reagan said, missed me so quickly that it was hilarious? Sir, I'm going to pop a balloon about 7 minutes into your speech. Please be on the ball, sir. Don't be a Sleepy Joe. That's what if that's what they say around the Joe. What if they get like a behind the scenes of the Trump campaign, and there were signs like that everywhere, like next to the clock. Don't be a Sleepy Joe. Have some coffee.
Dude, you would really be good as a political consultant. I don't know how to get your foot in the door, but I think you have a knack for it.
I just need to start mean tweeting. That'll do it.
Yes.
I think it's all wrapped up though. I saw Biden do his Lester Holt interview, and he's like, why don't y'all talk about the 28 times he lied? And I was like,
yeah, how'd that hit you?
That hit me as like, so we spent the last decade doing that. Now we're going to give you a week. We're actually, sir, we're here for the mental decline. We're here because your brains have maybe gone to shit. One-third of Democrats think the Trump assassination is a conspiracy theory, that it's not real. It's set up.
That's wild. I was looking at it just the political impact. I mean, so you're saying, hey, Trump has this thing locked up, and I'm not ready to disagree. But it has occurred to me, like, the second beneficiary from this is Biden. It has changed the national conversation from his debate performance. It seemed like that was sticking for weeks and weeks and was never going anywhere.
Well, he had that Oval Office address where we solve these problems at the battle box. At the battle box. Everybody knows it. It's the right way. We got to find a way to make America, well, not great again, because that's what he's wanting to do. We don't want that. Make it more gooder. We're going to make America more gooder once more.
I saw that. I saw that clip. I was hoping he said it so bad. That would have been so funny.
He was close enough.
Close.
He's not able to make a convincing case, not for himself anyway. He needs to hope that Trump makes it for him, and I don't think just hiding in the basement will get it done this time. So I don't really see how he's going to do it.
I want that VP debate now. Now that our guy is a a Yale law graduate or whatever the fuck. Seems like he's pretty well spoken. So I would love to see Kamala, who is like asleep to the top, fake and fraud.
That's her technique for winning the debate. She's going to get the other guy to throw it by boning him beforehand.
By fucking him? I'm not sure. Kick him off. That's how she got her first political job. So
that's like how CNN would cover it. They'd be like, Kamala Harris bravely jacks off. JD Vance
bravely blows Vance.
You know what, Kamala? I'm actually experiencing a little inflation right now.
Yeah, I think that if she were at the top of the ticket, which I personally handicap is less likely than I would have a week ago, that the DEI and sleeping her way to the top arguments would find a lot of traction.
That's the only way they can get access to all that money, though. If they were to, so I think it's going to be Biden all the way. But if they needed to replace Biden, it's got to be her, because her name's on the ticket. It was like the Biden Harris ticket, and so that $100 million or whatever it is is hers to use if she's on the ticket, but not if she's not. And I also saw Elon Musk as soon as the assassination attempt happened, was like, I fully endorse Donald Trump.
Did you see the 45 million?
I'm going to fund a super PAC for $45 or $48 million a month or something like that. Oh my. And at the same time as that news, I'm flicking through my phone and it's like Biden suspends all ads. And I'm just like, yes, this is just what we need. You to stop working and us to get some help. Like it's just not going to spell good for them. It's one of those things that we'll see the effects in the polls, a month from now or something from what happened 2 or 3 days ago. I feel like when Biden campaign stopped running ads and Elon Musk injected $100-200 million into the campaign.
I've followed sports teams before, and it's like, we're on the short list. We're in this conversation of who might win the chip this year. And then all of a sudden your best player gets a knee injury and someone else has a scandal and your fifth best player is out too. And you got a bunch of fucking bench warmers starting for you. That's how this election feels on the blue team now. Like, we were rolling along. Things were going in the right direction. Trump's in debt $5 million for raping that woman. Now he's in debt $100 million for keep talking shit about her. Now he's in debt $500 million fucking dollars that he doesn't seem to have because of his business fraud. And everything is coming up in our direction. And then, the freaking Trump stock thing hits and you can't make fun of his lack of liquidity anymore. Well, you know that it's coming, right? And then just lately it just seems like L after L after L till you're like, well, maybe next season will be better.
Yeah. You can already
maybe
see
we'll get
that.
a good draft pick.
Exactly. That's what we need. We need a new draft pick. We have an aging star and it's not working out.
Yeah, maybe you could trade him. We'll give you Lindsey Graham. A younger, gayer model. Okay, he's made for the 21st
well in the
century.
Democratic Party. He needs to switch.
I'm coming out, y'all.
I was thinking that too.
Come in.
What if what if Lindsey Graham gave like a so over the top, like openly weeping eulogy for Richard Simmons with no other explanation?
He was the best of us all. We are all less beautiful without him in our world. You scum.
No, I think we'd have to like give the Democrats future considerations to even take Lindsey Graham. Like we'd have to throw in, we'd have to sweeten the pot.
I don't know what future considerations really mean.
I don't either.
I thought you were going to explain it to me. It always means like, and I don't know, good vibes. We're going to give you this guy $10 million and good vibes.
We'll hook you up with our hot dog guy. He's great. It's exactly what you've said, Woody. There was a time there where it felt like the news was all bad for Trump and all good for Biden. And then, it just switched. It's like somebody flicked a monkey's paw or found a lamp somewhere to rub and said, fuck them up. It's been one thing after another. And all I see is the left mean side of it, because I mostly use Reddit. I have to get off Reddit sometimes because I'm like, man, y'all posted that articles 4 times on 4 different subreddits, and it's all 4 made it to the homepage. I know. It's Project 2025, baby. I know.